Like, you just accept it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Who is this serial killer he talking to on the other side of the screen, though? I'm trying to figure out. Because all niggas are here doing is sweating, eating, and laying down. Sweating, eating, and laying down for 3 days. And he talking about I had fun. On a football stadium. In a football stadium. People started calling him Atozi or Atozi. So I just say Atozi, make it simple. But the shocking experience of the Mr. Beast games. So I'm trying to see.
Just came out about Mr. Beast and Amazon's Beast Games. Since I made my last video on it, a handful of people reached out to me claiming to be contestants, and they wanted to share their side of the story while being there. It's been incredibly hard to find any information on the Beast Games as everyone is under an NDA. So until now, what we really have is the side from the people who are suing Mr. Beast and the few who talked to the New York Times and Rosanna. And that's all left people with this narrative that the Beast Games is now like a new fire festival, which just sounds absolutely terrible. So obviously I am extremely interested in hearing the sides of these people.
Yeah.
But out of the few people I talked to, there was one single person who trusted me enough to send me information that verified that they were actually in the Beast Games. And thankfully they agreed to do an interview where they just walked me through the entire experience of being on the Beast Games. And honestly, I was shocked to hear that things seemed very different from what we've heard until now. And because of this NDA, to protect this person's identity, we had to completely rework their voice. But without further ado, here's the full Beast Games experience from this contestant's perspective. So I guess, hey, if you want to start from the beginning, how did you find out about it? And what was the process of joining like?
So I found out about Beast Games from a friend that said he might have an in. I ended up applying, and over the course of about 2 weeks, I was accepted, and that was probably about 3 or 4 weeks before the competition actually started, and they sent us to Vegas. So I don't know. I just kind of got accepted, and then I was thrown into it.
Wow, okay. And then, so was the first event, it was in, what, Nevada? Or?
Yeah, so they sent all 2,000 people to Las Vegas, and just imagine, so much of the trouble in all of what's come out is behind the logistics of Vegas. So you have 2,000 people that you flew to Vegas, you then have to handle hotels for all the flights, and then you have to feed them when they're there. So we all got like meal vouchers and stuff in the hotels. And I would say 99% of what's happened and what's gone on.
Damn, that's a lot of money though. You gotta first get 2,000 people, take 2,000 people, send them to a different state. Then once they're in that different state, you then have to get them a place to stay and food. Bruh. Like, I know Mr. Beast got bread, but, like, sometimes when you just break down, like, each cost, it's like, that's well over, like, a good 100K plus. At least, no, I'm trolling. More than that, bro. More than that. Not even 100. You probably put a mil. Yeah, I just scaled all the way up, bro. 2,000 people, you gotta pay for flights, food, housing, and then wait for them to get back. Damn.
Mad about is due to like lack of communication within not even Beast Team, but the company they hired to handle the production. So you have like random people that you pull off the street that are like, you know, they don't know the intricate details of the operation. So when somebody asks them a question like, hey, can I go get food, or can I go to the bathroom out here? They are like, they only know what they've been told, so they're going off their best judgment, but that might not be what the person wants to hear. So it's just like a bunch of people playing telephone. So that's a large reason why people didn't get the things they wanted or the things they needed. And if you really need something bad enough, like, go get it. Or are they going to tell you no?
And so wait,
Yeah, like, you're not
so
gonna get
it all started
arrested.
off. So,
It's
so you went to Vegas and you guys were in hotels there, and there was two things that I understood. So from the New York Times article, they were saying there was like an intake process, and then like the first day. Is that true or?
Yeah, there was. So we got there one day. Some people got there like 2 or 3 days in advance just for planning purposes.
Okay.
But you stuck in a number of hotels. They split all 2,000 people between, say, like 3 or 4 hotels. But the intake process happened at Rio Hotel in like the big grand rooms. So eventually, throughout your 3 or 4 days, probably on the day that you got there, mine wasn't until like the second or third day. But they took you into the room. You signed all the paperwork, new NDAs, all sorts of stuff. And then you basically got like your jersey, and then you went back to your hotel room and then waited until they called you down like the morning of to come down in your jersey. And poor planning on their part. We could have just worn like our normal civilian clothing, but they put.
Why you say it's civilian though? We could have just worn our regular NPC clothing, but they didn't want us to do that. It's like, bro, you ain't nothing wrong with it, bro. Like, you're not going like.
Us all in trash bags. I guess like that was a last minute decision, which didn't help because then people were like, why are there 1,000 people in a hotel in trash bags? That like raised some controversy right there. The trash bags were hot. You know, you could just rip bigger armholes or like suck it up. Yeah, that wasn't like a good decision on anyone's part. I don't know who that was, but it probably wasn't Mr. Beast directly.
And then so you were put in
I'm starting to see what he's saying. He's kind of saying like he has like these big productions, but he's like the decisions that were made weren't just like solely determined by Mr. Beast alone, like all the time, basically.
Trash bags. And then what happened once you were put into trash bags?
Once we were put into trash bags, well, they fed us breakfast. You had the opportunity to go get your own breakfast before the trash situation. Then it was like 3 or 4 hours of waiting until we got to the Rio Hotel. And they put us in the big grand rooms with, say, like 500 people in each room. Okay. And they would sporadically bring out food. They offered water. You could go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And yeah. So like we stood in those halls for another like 6 hours.
Whoa.
Until we finally were bussed to Allegiant Stadium, where we spent another 2 hours sitting on the bus and then going in through the in-dock process where they explain where the exits are, the safety of the stadium, like where we're going to be. But we were all just split up into 4 groups between the 2,000 people. So
you guys were put into trash bags and you just waited around in a hotel like conference room for 6 hours?
We put on the trash bags. We waited for like 2 hours to go on a bus to go to the Rio. And then once we were at the Rio, we were in the big grand halls where we had trash bags on. We probably waited for another hour in the trash bags before they said, oh, you guys can take them off, but keep your trash bags so that you have it like when we walk out of here to the buses to go to Allegiant Stadium again.
Okay. And then what were you guys doing
with the trash
at the Rio and trash?
What is the trash bags for?
Trash bags.
So at the Rio and trash bags, they collected our phones once we got on the buses. And then when we were in the Rio, we were just sitting at tables. I think some of the halls actually didn't have tables. We just sat around for 6 hours. And like, I had a great group of friends that I was able to play games with and stuff at our table. We had like 7 or 8 people at our table, getting to know people.
Okay.
The coolest thing about the whole experience is getting adults together and taking away all distractions so they have nothing to do but get to know each other. That was the coolest thing.
So you guys waited around there for 6 hours, and then they bussed you to where the event happened?
Yeah, so everything took place in Allegiant Stadium throughout those 4 days.
And what was the Allegiant? I'm not familiar. Is that just the Las Vegas Stadium?
Yeah, so it's like the nicest, biggest, newest football stadium that exists. Everything's super high tech. It was actually really cool. Like the stadium was super sick. I think we got some like behind the scenes looks that not a lot of people do. But yeah, like the only place in Las Vegas that can accommodate any sort of thing like that is Allegiant Stadium. Okay,
so take me like through the whole thing.
So is this for like the Squid Games video? Is that what this is for? That is the only thing I can think of that you would need a fucking football stadium for. And even then, it's a football stadium.
So you got onto the bus from Rio, you went to the stadium, and what happened then when you got off?
When we got off the stadium, we walked inside, and there were people waiting by TV screens. There was the main producer. There were a couple of the Mr. Beast team waiting around. And after everyone had filed in, after like another 30 minutes to an hour, all of this was just like waiting around, which like is totally fine as long as you can handle waiting around. That's a big issue people had. But like if you have 2,000 people, your production's not going to move very quickly from thing to thing. So they basically just told us where the exits were. They had on TV screens displaying like, the safety precautions of the stadium if something were to happen, who to call, who you're going to contact, like whatever. And then shortly after that, they end up sitting us down for like an actual meal. So by then, maybe it was like 10 to 12 hours before we ate like a full like established lunch or dinner or whatever. And it might be like 10 p.m. at night by that point. Yeah, the hours were totally off while we were in the stadium because I think they figured out that they wanted to film everything at night. So then during the day, everything was just a waiting game with like nothing to do except like sit on the field or eat meals and hang out with people.
Okay, so when did the lack of like medical?
So this is like, yo, bro, like, so this is like, this is more like a, how do I say?
Everything was just a waiting game with like nothing to do except like
no way.
Sit on the field or eat meals and hang out with people.
Okay, so when did the lack of like medical supplies and stuff like that?
What was I about to say? This is like a fuck.
So then during the day, everything was just a waiting game with like nothing to do except like sit on the field or eat meals and hang out with people.
What the fuck? Yeah, bro. This is like a unemployed, like, this is an unemployed person's dream right there. Just sit on the field, eat meals, and wait till nighttime to actually do something fun. Man.
Okay, so when did the lack of like medical supplies and stuff like that?
What? Lack of medical? What?
So when you went into the Rio, you kind of like handed off your medical supplies for the Beast Games, and they were going to handle the logistics of it.
Okay.
The production company was supposed to like quickly hand out medications, or they had like a medical bay set up, especially once we got down into the stadium and like on the floor of the stadium.
Okay.
There was like a medical area where you could go to and get your medications, but yeah, everything kind of weighed on when we were doing challenges and stuff, and like a big area of complaint are the no bathroom breaks or whatever. But they always told you like, oh, you're gonna get a bathroom break sometime soon, or like, just hold on a minute. We're gonna do this challenge first. But imagine like trying to coordinate 2,000 people's bathroom breaks.
So you have 2,000 people and you're telling them they're all gonna get a bathroom break soon, nigga? Do you know how many? That's a lot of fucking people, bruh. 2,000 fucking people.
And I think they could have relieved or alleviated the issue by just telling us when we would have bathroom breaks, but they didn't know how long filming was going to take, how long challenges were going to take. So everyone just had to like go when they could, and then they would wait for back, and like filming delays would happen just because people like didn't know when to go to the bathroom.
What kind of challenges were there? Was it like, like physical or waiting, or like what kind of like, you don't have to like spoil anything too much, but like we have reports, of guys essentially assaulting women.
What?
Is that true?
So there were 4 different challenges within the Allegiant Stadium. Basically, one.
So Mr. Beast is just under lawsuits, and this is why he's getting sued because of this shit. Oh, I see why. Yeah, he's cooked. That's ridiculous.
The first night, 2 the second night, and then 3 and 4 happened into like the 3rd and 4th days. The first one was physical, yes, but not like individual physical.
What you
mean? It was a team challenge where you had to, I think it's all come out now what the challenges were, and you could like, or you had to tug a rope to pull something, and you were in teams of 400, 5 separate teams of 400, and some people were grabbing jerseys once they said like, oh, you need these jerseys to be on a team. And everyone was basically trying to stay within their 4 teams that they had originally split us up into, because when we walked in the stadium, we were in 4 groups of 500. So everyone had made groups within those 4 groups of 500 and wanted to stay with their team.
Yeah.
So when they announced we have 400 jerseys for each team, some of the big guys ran up and like grabbed the jerseys and started handing their team jerseys to other big guys they could find to like recruit people. And then some people not necessarily got forced physically, but like if you didn't know to run to the front to grab a jersey and you were kind of waiting on them to like hand them out or whatever, or you didn't have large friends, or there's a possibility you just got shoved to whatever the 5th team was, which was like no one had allegiance to or anything, and that team ended up losing like right away. The actual challenge was supposed to last anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes, but the game testers they had test it didn't account for $5 million being on the line and like an actual like 2,000 people playing this game, because we got
$5 million on the line. I'm not gonna lie, I'm whooping anyone's ass regardless. Yeah, it would have just turned into a brawl. You gotta really think, bro. Like I know that sounds like interesting, but it's really gonna turn into Squid Games, bro. Like niggas will die. Like I would throw hands with somebody. You telling me it's 400 of us and 400 of them, and my team is stacked, and we got a whole bunch of like buff ass people. We stacked to the brim. We locked in. We're not losing. We're getting that 5 mil. I swear we're not losing.
We finished the challenge in like a minute, like under a minute. And then that 5th team didn't even get like close to finishing.
Oh, wow.
So, but I think I was toward the middle, and I think some people in the rear, once you started actually pulling the rope, everyone got bunched up in the rear. It's possible people accidentally got injured, but I don't know if I would say that it's the fault of any one individual.
Okay.
It's just that when you have like 500 or 400,
yeah, when you have that many people pulling on one fuck ass rope, I would hope
100 people.
I would guess so.
Basically on 2 sides of a rope that spans the length of the football stadium. So when everyone starts pulling back, people are going to get jumbled in the rear and just kind of like bunched up.
So it was a tug of war with 400 people on each side.
The 400 people, 200 on each side of an individual rope, and those.
Damn, 200 people on one side and 200 on another. He making them play Squid Games, bro.
200 people make the length of the football stadium, like right off the bat. So if you don't pull the rope and like keep your feet where they are, and you start walking the rope back, everyone gets bunched up in the back. And so I think that caused injury when people were like falling on each other.
Yeah,
but I mean that's just kind of what happened. I don't think it's any one person's fault. Someone got injured, and nobody was trying to injure anyone in that challenge.
Okay.
But then they had us wait around for several more hours in kind of those lines so that we could take. I mean, you're allowed to lay down after the challenge happened and do whatever. But had us kind of still in those 400 person groups after they had walked the 400 that lost out of the stadium through the doors. They lined us up for a thumbnail photo, and then a couple more hours passed by, and we were finally like allowed another meal, and then we were able to go to bed. So they gave us, I think that's when the first seizure happened too, shortly after that challenge. I don't even think it was a result of medication, because if you really were epileptic, you're not going to tell them, hey, give me my medication or I'll have a seizure, and they're not going to do it. And if you did, that one person that like said no to you was a dumbass. Like, there's no reason they should, that single person that wasn't Mr. Beast 13, it was just a production person. If someone actually told that person no.
Okay. I'm starting to get what he's saying also. He's not saying everything is just on Mr. Beast or the team. It's Mr. Beast's team. It's just the production company that he's working with. So if it was somebody did happen to just be like, no, you can't do that, then it wasn't most likely them. Okay, so he's defending them.
It's probably somebody who's.
So that's did like an ambulance show up and carry someone off on a stretcher then, or
no? That person wasn't even like carried off. I think they were just laid down and they helped them, get through that. And then I don't know what happened to that single person because I wasn't trying to be involved in like a medical emergency. So I don't think they walked off even. I think they helped them recover, maybe took them to medical, asked what was wrong, whatever. But I don't think that person, there is no proof to indicate that person had a seizure because they were denied medication. Unless that single person comes forward and says, that's what happened to me. So everyone who's speculating, like, no one has any proof.
So that was the first challenge, and then what happened after that? And also, where did you guys sleep?
So hours went by. It's probably like 2 or 3 a.m. by the actual time everything concludes and we're allowed to like go. Actually, no, we don't go to bed until probably like 6 a.m. And the stadium has a translucent ceiling, so you can see when the light is out or when it's dark out. And they finally hand out like 1,600 Coleman sleeping bags, like a $20 sleeping bag that you first buy when you're going to go on your first camping trip, and you buy it from Walmart. So they give us all those, and then they tell us to like go to sleep for, you know, however long, and then we'll start the second day. So it's like 6 a.m. They put us to bed. It's starting to get like warm in the stadium. They fed us. And the meals were 2 different options that they would alternate between. So you had like a lunch and a breakfast. Breakfast was like a small cup of oatmeal that was like more water than oatmeal. And it was plain, so there was no flavor whatsoever. Then you had a single hard-boiled egg and some vegetables, if I remember right. And then the lunch was like the normal lunch without meal restrictions or dietary restrictions was a piece of chicken about the size of your palm that was boiled. Then you had quinoa rice or normal white rice, and then you had vegetables. And those were like the 2 meals, but it wasn't like, not a lot of food, but enough to like sustain you or make you, give you the ability to live and go.
Ew, bruh. See, I can't, bro. Niggas eating like that, bro. You eating like a fucking inmate.
Your challenges, for sure.
So you were eating twice a day?
We were eating probably three times a day. But then on about the second day, when they figured out, hey, this probably really isn't like enough food for some people, they started giving out like snack bags. They started passing out Feastable bars, and they started like...
Oh no, bro! You just got your ass whooped in a Mr. Beast game, and he talking about here's a Feastable bar. Like, nigga, I do not want what? I don't want that. No way. You just got your ass kicked in fucking tug of war, and a nigga hands you a Feastable, talking about it's okay, it's okay. Good game. Ain't no good game. I don't want this fat ass chocolate bar. No way.
Giving us all sorts of snacks and things if we really needed it. So if you needed food, you could ask for it, and you would probably get it. On the second day is when I heard a girl directly in front of me complain that she was on her period, and she was talking to a main producer, and he was denying her like her change of clothes, or he's like, I can't do anything about that right now. Look, I'm sorry. Because their whole system for handing out the undergarments that we had given them was not fantastic. They could have like just laid them out in the middle of the field, and we would have solved our own issue within about an hour time frame. But they made, I didn't get my underwear and socks until like the 3rd day, but I didn't complain about it. Like, we were just all in a stadium. We're all gross, nasty. Like, you just accept it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Who is this serial killer he talking to on the other side of the screen though? I'm trying to figure out because all niggas are here doing is sweating, eating, and laying down. Sweating, eating, and laying down for 3 days. And he talking about I had fun. On a football stadium. In a football stadium. Okay. Yeah, okay, freak ass. No way.
So yeah,
it's
we
like
all
camping.
sleep. Yeah, it's literally camping. And I like... You just don't know what to expect, but you expect that you're going to be uncomfortable for a couple days if you're going to try and win $5 million. We also slept on...
Now that changes my mind. You're right. Would I be uncomfortable for a couple of days for $5 million? Hell yeah. I don't give a fuck how dirty I am. $5 million is $5 million. You right.
On the stadium floor with the Coleman sleeping bags, they didn't hand out pillows or anything, so I came up with using my shoes as a pillow. And then I later graduated when they had some black curtains out that were held down by some sandbags. So I grabbed one of the sand, used it as a pillow, and that was like a great night's sleep.
Interesting. Okay, so wait, so you said you had they gave you a sleeping bag?
Give you the sleeping bag, yeah.
But no pillow.
No pillow.
Okay.
Hey, fucking y'all niggas.
And then you just slept on the AstroTurf?
Yeah, they had like a brown AstroTurf down, not the regular like stadium lined turf. So they refloored the whole stadium for this.
Damn, yeah, that nigga got bread, bruh. Talking about they refloored a football stadium for one YouTube video. Are you fucking serious? This nigga refloored a NFL stadium for a YouTube video. That's ridiculous.
Interesting.
And then, during this whole thing, there's $5 million in cash sitting on one side of the stadium, like guarded by people 24/7, and a legitimate $5 million real dollars in ones. So the whole entire time we're in the stadium, it's on there.
Interesting. Okay, so this was and essentially, so you were there for how many days?
19.
We were there for about 4 days from start to finish.
And you covered, so you've essentially told me the first 2 days now? Or how far into?
A second day going into the second challenge. Yeah. So the second challenge was related to briefcases.
Okay.
They had 400 briefcases laid out in a grid system. And so we don't start filming, like, there's so many hours. So there's like 12 hours between sleeping and the next challenge or so. Like, after it concluded, you're just kind of sitting around waiting the entire time. That's the whole theme of it. So there's just nothing going on the entire time. You're talking to people, you're playing games, like maybe exercising a little bit, but you're gonna get gross and then you can't even shower. So just waiting. I can't stress that.
Damn, that's how it looks. I can't even fathom this, bro. This don't even look real. This nigga has all of this set out for a YouTube video. This is movie level types of production, bruh.
Enough. And then maybe like midnight rolls around and we're ready for the second challenge. So, yeah, the next challenge is briefcases laid out in a grid system of 400 briefcases. And then there's a red line around the entire briefcase grid. Mr. Beast is in the center announcing, like, look at the screen up there. The screen is going to display the grid pattern on it and which briefcases are red, which ones are green. There's 50 red briefcases out of every 400 or so. And then you get to the briefcase and then you open it up and it's going to tell you whether it's red or green, whether you're safe or eliminated. So he would call your 400 people to go, and then you would line up around the entire red line, which took up about half the stadium floor.
Okay.
And then you would stand around it and you would strategize with the people around you which briefcase you were going to go for. Some people, like, were kind of just tired of being there at the point, but, like, didn't want to just, like, I can't stress this enough, too. You could just walk out anytime you want. So if you're not comfortable with the situation or anything, you could just leave, and you're going to get compensated. They paid everyone that was there $1,000 for being there.
So $1,000 per person.
And then $1,000 when you get eliminated, regardless of when you go home. So I got out much later when we went into Ampeda, and I got $2,000 paid for being there for less than 2 weeks worth of work. But if you got out in the first Vegas challenges, you got paid $2,000.
Oh, wow. So was this what they were claiming is offering money to not sue them?
No, I don't know anything about that. I didn't sign any sort of NDA or like any, you're not going to sue us whenever I got eliminated.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Because, yeah, that's what the lawsuit
paid $2 million just for them being there. He said he made $2,000 for less than 2 weeks of work. Bro, $2,000 for some people would literally, like, help them pay bills. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy. Like 2,000
It was alleging.
just for being there.
Yeah. No, I think the lawsuit is like
Crazy.
it's a lot of it's pretty bullshit. Some people may have actual recourse if they were denied medication that they desperately needed to function, because they did tell us like, hey, provide us your medication and we'll get it to you when you need it. Now, if you did that and it's not a medication that you actually need to function, and they told you, no, you can't have your medication, I can understand that being worthy. But for just not getting food when you needed food or whatever, when you know that this like whole thing is going on, you're kind of a bitch, or just a baby in general.
I get what you're saying. Like, I want to eat now, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but you signed up for this. It's like, bro, there's a schedule, okay? We got millions of dollars being used right now. Hella time, hella effort. And you talking about you want to go eat a Lunchable, Feastable bar. Eat a fucking Lunchly. No way.
Mm-hmm. And
Just some prime
like,
with it.
I would
like,
say
fuck you.
about
No way.
all 1,000 people that actually made it to Canada wanted to be there and are desperately waiting for another story to like come to Mr. Beast's rescue for this. But everyone's under NDA that they don't want to break.
So the general consensus of the contestants is, hey, this is not actually happening. It's not as bad as what everything's being reported on as.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, yeah. 100%.
Wait, but I thought he said he wasn't under an NDA. I thought he just said he wasn't under an NDA, but then he just said everyone's under like NDA, so they want to like. Am I tripping?
It's
That's
just
interesting
people who like, yeah.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, yeah. Imagine you pull 2,000 people off the street. A lot of them are like performance actors or stuff. A lot of people got cast through the casting company they had previous relationships with, because there were a lot of actors or people in media, people from Hollywood. There's a large group from LA. Like they were already kind of like had the in on this. So there were a lot of people that just like had a lot of feelings about things that were going on that they couldn't control, and they wanted to control so badly. And people that just are the type to kind of complain when they don't get their way.
I know what you talking about. I know what you. Yep, that's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say. All that privilege ain't gonna save them. That's all you gotta say. They want everything to be their way when they literally cannot control that. It's like, bro, all right, bro. Like, but I want to go now. It's like, man, baby.
Like in that group of 2,000, you're gonna have that people, and luckily, like a lot of those people did get out in Las Vegas, and then the rest of the 1,000 that went to Canada were like really chill, relaxed, like people that actually wanted to be there and have fun, and like understood what was going on so far, and were okay with it.
So was it Vegas that lasted 4 days?
Vegas that lasted 4 days. Vegas is where all of the complaints that come out of. Anyone to complain after Vegas is really just a crybaby, because things got 10 times better after Vegas. Like once we actually got to Canada, we had like the incredible food, like good hotel stays, like I actually had fun, no denied access to anything, like things were
okay, I get it. This is kind of more just like, you know, you go off in the beginning, he not trying to spend too much crazy money just for, like, you know, it's like you get him this insane lavish experience, and like for what though? Like they hear, like, you're paying them to be here, but at the same time they're doing you a favor. I don't know. Nigga, we could do 1,999. Fuck.
Were run so much more smoothly, because I think that's where Amazon actually stepped in. The whole thing before Canada was, I think it's got to be just on Mr. Beast's dime and not controlled by Amazon, because it's his idea that he wanted to create that to be the spoiler for Amazon. So Amazon covered everything from, you know, their production on, which is the 10 episodes.
This nigga has a Amazon sponsor. That's fucking ridiculous.
On Amazon, when Mr. Beast controlled the whole Vegas thing, and he wasn't ready for a production of that level.
Interesting. So after the briefcase challenge, were there any more like physical challenges after that?
There was. So the briefcase thing is sort of unfortunate, because there were definitely people that were like pushing or trying to get to the briefcase they knew was green. So I actually know like an older guy. So there was everyone from ages of like, let's say 18 to 75 competing in the challenges. There were older people that like did accidentally get knocked down or pushed over. And there were younger people that got pushed over too. And like, very unfortunate. People did break ribs or like break a hand too, because they were like shoved into tables or pushed over as they were running for a briefcase. But that's, I don't know, like that really does suck that happened. You kind of acknowledge that risk when you're going to run for a briefcase, as far as Bungie was concerned.
All right, so I'm pausing the interview here just to add this bit of context they sent me after the interview. So it was essentially like everyone was sidelined, and then everyone was like, so you had to run to a briefcase. And then did you have like a general idea of which briefcases would be safe and not be safe?
Yeah, so it's based on the people around you. You could talk to them. You could be like, hey, I'm going to run for that briefcase. If you run for that one, we know we're good. Like, we don't have to fight over anything. We could even calmly walk over there. But there were a lot of people around that were like, nope, screw you. I'm running to that briefcase. I'm running to the first briefcase I can. So in those instances, like, people ran whatever they could and just would push people over. And I think that they actually did a good job of eliminating people. So if you were the person that pushed somebody to get to a briefcase, they saw that and they went through all the footage between Vegas and Canada, and they actually eliminated those people or told them, hey, you're not coming back because they were too rough, because they were mean, whatever. But they end up getting rid of those people.
Okay. I like that. Okay, they did. Damn, that's a lot of fucking footage, though. I wonder who got paid to do that. You gotta sit there and watch all that footage and then be like, oh yeah, get that nigga up out of there. Number 74? Number 389. It's like, what? I'm not watching all this. Number 1572, you gotta go.
Anyone that was physical or mean.
So after the briefcase, what happened then?
More and more hours of waiting, and then basically same stuff up until the next night when they brought us back for the third challenge. And the third challenge was like a capture the flag style game where they had flags numbered 1 through 1100, and there were 1400 people left in the game at this point. So we knew 300 were getting eliminated, and we had to stand on the sideline of the stadium, up and down the whole entire stadium floor, and they would put out a certain number of flags on the stadium floor, and they'd put out a random number of flags in random locations on the stadium floor, and they would like hit a horn, and once the horn blows, you would run out onto the stadium floor and chase a flag.
Okay.
If you ran out onto the stadium floor if you ran out onto the stadium floor, you're in the game, and if you don't get a flag, you're eliminated, basically. So once you cross that line, you're in, and you have to get a flag. And so you don't know how many people are going to run out for the flags that are available. So that's the fun in the game. And the Mr. Beast was kind of just standing on a tower in the center of the stadium, or he would put a flag down himself or whatever.
So yeah, last thing we were at, you were describing the capture the flag game. You said you guys were at 1,100 people before you started the capture the flag game. You knew 300 people were going to be... No, 1,400, and then you guys were going to be eliminated down to 1,100 left. So 300 people were going to be eliminated.
Yep, 14 to 1,100. So this was another physical game, of course, and you had to run out and you had to compete against the people around you to get flags. So unfortunately, there were a lot of people,
He said unfortunately like a lot of times. Every time he said, yeah, this game was a bit more physical, but you know, you had to compete, and unfortunately there were some people who did lose their life. It's like, unfortunately, there were some people who if I recall, did actually tear their fibula. It's like, bruh, no way.
A lot of people that were pushing or fighting for flags, or like they would grab a flag, someone else would grab the flag.
They would stab people for a flag. They did have guns out there, so that was an option. I decided to go with the M16, and I think...
and you have to like...
And I actually did win.
They were trying to wrestle it out of each other's hands.
Lives.
But the way the game is supposed to go is if you accidentally you grab a flag at the same time as someone else, then you just rock, paper, scissors for it. Especially if like one person won't leave. Try another one. Yeah. So, but some people were like trying to rip it out of other people's hands, so they didn't get the opportunity to play rock, paper, scissors. Or people weren't being cordial, where they'd like call it a flag with the people around them, and then last second, someone else would run from behind them and grab the flag that was like faster. So, of course, like naturally,
but that's normal though. That's normal though. Like women and the older people were usually the slowest. Okay, but that's normal though. That kind of just comes with those type of shows. I ain't even gonna front. That's kind of normal. Cause it's like you competing for $5 million. I ain't gonna lie, bitch. I will outrun you. I will outrun you. Yes, I will for that flag. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. We got $5 million on the line. I'm outrunning you. I don't care if you called it. If I get there first, it counts.
Most people in the run were often women and older people. So out of the faster people saw their opportunity to run out in front of them when they had claimed a flag and they knew they had an easy win. So that would happen. There were a lot of people that got pushed over. I think I saw a girl. So the people that were carried off in stretchers, there was literally a girl that like twisted her ankle or something, or like.
Why does he just like casually do that though? Like, see, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to believe him now, cause he'll sit there and he'll be like, if I do recall, there was somebody who did get stabbed in their neck, but I don't really remember. And he'll just casually say it. It's like, bro, what do you mean? She twisted her ankle, and she actually did.
Fell. I don't know if she broke anything, but like, yeah, they were carried off because they got injured just running. But these were not all athletic. So the possibility for injury is there.
So if you're not really that much of an athletic person and you join a game show, what does that say about you?
And then someone I did see like legitimately trip, fall, head hit the ground, and they knocked themselves out cold. Wow. But that was them running across the field. Yeah. And then they were assisted off by two people with her arms over their shoulders. So people were helped out. Happened, but like in reality, they were running across the field.
Yeah.
Or they were tripped by another person or something. But like, yeah, no cruelty meant by anyone.
So that eliminated 300 people, and then there was like one game left before Canada, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Then they made us wait around for like 3 or 4 more hours. They fed us a meal, and actually something funny happened. During the wait for the 4th challenge, we were on a stadium floor, and they split us into even and odd numbers out of the 1,100 flags, and then they sent us to like the east versus west sides of the stadium to get fed. So on my side of the stadium, we walk up there to grab our meal, and there were like cupcakes, cookies, cinnamon rolls, sandwiches, like different from the norm of what was offered usually. And we're like, dang, this is sick. So then we all like, some people pig out, some people are like, oh, this is a psyop. They're trying to screw us up for the next challenge, whatever.
That's what I was thinking. Because I'm like, so they just randomly gave y'all like really sweet snacks, like really fattening, just like something that would really like mess you up. So now I'm like, nah, I wouldn't eat that, bro. Not here.
It is. Like, they're going to make us fat and lazy right now. But then we get back down to the stadium floor after we eat our meal, and they rearrange the platforms that were on the stadium floor. So they make it 11 platforms. We get down to the stadium floor, and we talk to the even side, and we're like, hey, how was you guys' cupcakes and cookies? They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because they got the same plain old stuff, because production messed up and gave us the food that was supposed to be like at the end of the challenges, like after it was all done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd be sick as fuck. Well, yeah, y'all enjoyed the cinnamon rolls? Bitch, what? Where? I need that now. Now.
It was a hilarious moment that happened.
It wouldn't have been funny to me. And he laughing, and I would have fucking DDT'd his ass too. Yeah, keep laughing. That shit ain't funny. He would have caught a sweet chin music right then and there in the middle of that fucking stage. Yep. That shit was funny, wasn't it? I know it was. I know. Roman Reigns spear was funny too. I know. RKO. I could keep going, please. I gotta watch some WWE clips, bruh.
You guys, I guess.
I gotta do that, bro.
Yeah, win for us. The next one was just standing on platforms. So they tell us to arrange ourselves.
I gotta wait. I'm gonna do that after this. I'm gonna put one
groups of 100.
I gotta watch like some
and
funny
these
moments,
need to be
bro.
100 people that you trust, which is
God
impossible.
damn.
You can't trust anyone out of 100 people that you met 3 or 4 days ago. So then we do our best to like our group gets another group that we know, and they get another group, whatever. We form 100 people, and then I'm sure there's a couple stragglers in there that nobody really knew that they didn't have a place to go. So we all get on the platforms. We're standing on there for another hour after like a 2-hour wait once we've like got the 100 people together. So it's probably like 3 or 4 a.m. at this time. And we're standing on these platforms, and Mr. Beast finally comes out, and he's explaining to us this challenge that he's going to offer different amounts of money until someone leaves the platform. And if they leave the platform and go for the money, all 99 other people on the platform are eliminated. And so he comes out, he gives different amounts of money, and then someone jumps for the second amount of money before he actually starts the counter for that amount of money. So the girl that jumped didn't even get the amount of money, and she screwed over 99 other people.
Oh no.
Stupid ass nigga. No way.
Yeah. And so they walked that platform out, and then it was all over, said and done. And there was a total of like, there was a total of like a lot more than $5 million on the floor by the end of the challenges. And they walked us through the doors and said, okay, you're going to Amazon Prime as you walk through these doors. And so they did. And then we waited another like 2 or 3 hours for the buses to then go to like, but another like shit thing that happened was there was like the cyber outage for the airline industry. So they couldn't get anyone flights home. Then people were stuck in Vegas in hotels. They didn't account for any of that happening. So when I got out of the games, I had to wait another like 4 or 5 hours until I got a hotel room to then like go to sleep. And then I had the best sleep of my entire life after that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Nigga been
So
sleeping
just
on
like
turf all day. I know he did.
Bunch of shit that they didn't anticipate or didn't plan for. And then also like most of what happened was totally reliant on like people that were probably getting paid $100, $200 a day to like just kind of stand there and control us. But be up to them most of the time when they told people no or told people they couldn't do things. But yeah, a lot of the challenge in the bathroom breaks thing, I was like, you're about to do a challenge. You tell people they can go to the bathroom. You tell 2,000 people they can go to the bathroom. You're going to be waiting another hour at least to start that challenge. So they were trying to control. They were like, hey guys, can you please like hold it until we're done with the challenge? So that's the inadequate bathroom breaks thing. And then the food, like they brought out snacks once they realized that was kind of an issue. But people who, there was one girl that came out and said she wanted to commit suicide she wanted to unalive herself because of the first challenge or what she went through, but she got out on the first challenge. And this girl came out talking about she's homeless, Mr. Beast needs to give me money, whatever. That was a TikTok that was going around, and she broke her NDA to say all that. But
All right, so I just want to say something, right? If you're fucking homeless, why the fuck are you doing a Mr. Beast challenge? Wait, go, what? It don't even make sense. I mean, well, actually, no, he said they get paid $2,000 for just being there and whenever they get eliminated. So I would do that, but is she actually going to use that $2,000 for something useful? Hell no.
Everyone is like, yeah, that girl's dumb.
Interesting. And then, so when you got to Canada, as said, like everything just got way better.
Yeah, everything was so much better. Like we were interacting.
Yeah, because it was operated by fucking Jeff Bezos. I know. You said Amazon. Yeah. I know that shit hit different. Yeah, I know. I know. No, yeah, I know.
It's totally differently. At
It
one
was
point
just
in Vegas,
insane. It's like, I would hope so.
it's like there was a production person that literally treated me like an animal, kind of. But that was totally just that person, maybe who's having a bad day or something. But then in Canada, like everyone was friendly. Like we were talking to production staff. They were nice to us. Like they were giving us anything that we needed. It was just a good time all around in Canada.
So I kind of have to ask, like, wait, how did you feel like you were treated like an animal?
Yeah, facts. Let's go ahead and talk
I don't know.
about
The guy just said something that was not like. I don't even remember what I was asking for or what I was doing, but he kind of just. He not even shrugged it off. He said something, or I was like, "What? What did he just say to me?" But I have no recollection of what it possibly was. But yeah.
Then don't bring it up. He treated me kind of like an animal, but I really don't remember what he was like necessarily saying or what I said. I just know that like how I felt in that moment was just a bit of like, it's like, why bring it up if you don't even remember what the fuck you said or what he said? At least if you gave us like one of y'all dialogue options, we could have sat here and been like trying to figure out, okay, what could he have said to kind of made him feel that way? But no, he didn't do that. So now we just all sitting here like some dickheads. Well, he is, it ain't me.
Okay.
They were busy. We were all just faces to them at that point. They didn't care to get to know any of us. And yeah, who knows? But the actual like head production staff.
I'm gonna be honest, if I'm on a fucking production team and this is for some random ass YouTuber, you got all this money, you got all these people here, I don't need to get to know y'all. Fuck, I'm doing my job. This is work. This is not all happy plates. Y'all the ones that are in the challenge sitting here. You're making money while doing this, mind you. So you're getting paid $2,000, like you said. And then just no matter what, whether you win or not, or you lose or whatever, you get eliminated, it don't matter. You're getting that money, right? And y'all don't gotta go nowhere. Y'all getting fed. Y'all got places to stay. Y'all getting flown to different places. Like, I'm like, bro, what? I'm at work. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not meeting anybody. I don't like to talk to nobody if I'm working, for real. What we gotta talk for? Oh yeah, bro, meet some new people. For what, nigga? I'm working and I'm ready to go home. There's no like, what?
For the whole Beast games, like
they didn't want to get to know us or anything. They kind of just sat there and did their jobs. This is fucking ridiculous. It's like, oh, okay, I wouldn't expect them to.
From the Mr. Beast side, they were all great.
Lolly
they
and
were
like
all 100%
Jolly?
great.
24/7, nigga. What?
That's good to hear.
Yeah, especially as it got later on, they like actually got to know our names. They got to become friends with us.
Okay.
And then during the games,
okay.
So in Canada, when we were at the city, Carl and Chandler and the rest of them were like coming out and hanging out with us and like talking to people for like a couple hours at a time, or like actually getting to know and be friends with people. So like showing like, okay, they're people too. And Mr. Beast only came around like once or twice, like sign autographs and stuff. And he was mostly just around for the challenges, but that's understandable.
I mean, yeah. It's just like, why the fuck would he be around 24/7? Oh, hey guys, how's everyone doing? I mean, that would be cool, but it's like he probably off doing something important.
I'm sure everyone's gonna want to talk to you and sled you, even though like, we've been around him for enough time at this point.
And then so the Canadian challenges, were they physical or like what kind of?
The Canadian challenges to Mr. Beast, someone asked him a question and he was like, yeah, anyone can win this, like no matter athletic ability or anything. And that was pretty much proven through the challenges, because after Vegas, there wasn't really anything physical again.
Okay.
Interesting. So it was all like, guess this briefcase, or if someone has to, I guess, surrender like money, kind of like the platforms and so on. Yeah.
Surrendering for money to knock people out, stuff like that. And the challenges became a lot less physical, which is good.
Yeah,
and everyone kind of enjoyed them. But there was people by that would be upset because there were uncontrollable variables that could take them out of the game, and people just weren't accepting or okay of that.
That's how games work. What are we talking about, bro? I didn't like the fact that I could lose just because how this game is played. Bitch, yes, that's what? And those be the same people that go to a casino the next fucking week, lose all their money, sat there, spent all their money on the fucking blackjack table. It's like you spent $800 on one table. How much was every round? Oh yeah, you only got paid $20 to get in, and you spent $800. Yeah, I was 800. There you go. How much money you made? I'm down 3,000, but I'm gonna be up soon. It's like, okay, yeah, all right, bro. Please leave me alone.
But I mean, they have to eliminate 2,000 or 1,999 people, I guess, right? If there's only one person that can win the $5 million.
Yeah, 100%. And then, yeah, the
Oh,
head producer.
I thought the 5 million was gonna be split between like a group. Oh, it's just 5 million for one nigga. What? What? And think about it, bro. Even if you don't win, you still leave with some bread. I ain't complaining.
Sir would come out several times and he'd be like, hey guys, just to let you know, the odds are like pretty not good that you're going to win $5 million. And he would just like say that over and over again. And he's a funny, hilarious guy. So, yeah.
Was he saying that in Canada or in Vegas?
In Canada.
Imagine.
Oh, well, he said that a couple times too. But like over and over, he'd be like, guys, there's still a lot of people here. The odds that you're not going to win $5 million are like more than one.
So is there anything else that you would want to add that you feel like is being misrepresented online currently?
What else is there that's come out?
So my list of, for example, the lawsuit is alleging misclassification of contestants as independent contractors. So they're trying to claim that they're actually employees.
I have not paid enough attention to the legal side. I just kind of signed up and I'm like, well, I'm fucking here. Let's do this.
Yeah, he kind of, this is kind of more of a source. He not really you don't use this type of source for like legality type of shit. I feel like you kind of just use them to be more like, so how was the experience? I think that would be the main focus here. Trying to ask him about who was an employee, who wasn't. It's like, nigga, I don't know. There was just 1,999 other people in that fucking field. You think I was looking for real? You think I cared that much? Are you serious?
I don't care that much, but other people who feel they walked away with not enough money or $2,000 isn't enough and they want to complain for more.
I'm not gonna lie, $2,000 just for being there. I don't see how you could complain. Think about it, bro. You call off man, you got a low-paying job or whatever. You go to a Mr. Beast challenge and you get 2 bands just for being there for like a good 4 days. Who's complaining? All right.
More. That's why they're probably going after that. They're like, Mr. Beast owes me more money.
And then you have unlawful contract terms was the second point. And then failure to pay minimum wage and overtime. So I'm assuming they don't feel compensated enough for waiting around that long.
Yeah, probably it. Which, like, if you signed up for this shit.
Exactly. That's going to be the number one, like, ruler of this whole conversation. It's like, you talking about, you know, I had to sit here and wait all this time, blah, 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 just to do this, X, Y, and Z. I should get paid more. And it's like, nigga, you came here. He ain't put a gun in your head.
$5 million isn't going to be easy.
Next was denial of meal and rest breaks.
It's like,
yeah, I kind of explained that.
Yep. And then after that, you had unsafe and inhumane working conditions.
Yeah, totally just in the hands of either other contestants that like would push you out of the way to get ahead, or staff that just had no idea what was going on and couldn't give you a direct answer. But the inhumane, like, the underwear situation was kind of crappy, but totally just somebody had the wrong system in place and was sticking with it instead of just doing something else to get people their underwear on time.
And then you had sexual harassment and hostile work environment was the next one.
I can't speak on the sexual harassment. I don't know anything that happened along those lines. That's probably between an individual and someone else. That's totally their story.
Yeah, there's literally 2,000 other people in this damn field. Like, there's damn near 2,000 people in this fucking field. I bet you if some type of harassment, sexual harassment was happening, it would be really difficult to try and find that shit. Very, very, very. Not even in like a good way. It's just like
the hostile work conditions. I covered enough from my perspective. Maybe somebody else out of those 2,000 experienced something different.
And then there was like an alleged damage control, which was offering money to not sue. Which I questioned you about because you received the X amount of money when you left. And it seems like maybe not in the, oh, I'm unsure if it's in the lawsuit right now or if it was from Rosanna's story where the person was saying, I did not take the money to not sue.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I doubt that that happened. Like, I 100% doubt that that happened. But after Vegas, I think some of the stuff was coming out or people were talking online that the conditions were terrible. And so after that point, I believe is when they enacted paying us all $1,000 just for being there. Because I don't think they were going to pay the people that to Canada $1,000. Like, I think that people that got eliminated in Vegas just got $1,000. Actually, yeah. So I might have said something different earlier. I think they just got $1,000, and then people that went to Canada got $2,000 if they were eliminated.
Okay.
And so they weren't going to pay. They weren't going to pay people that advanced to Canada until they. Actually, no. Okay, let me go back. I think everyone got paid $2,000. I think the people in Vegas were going to get paid $1,000 for getting eliminated in general. And then once the conditions came out, they elected to pay everyone $1,000 more for the harassment or like the issues that were caused. So they tried to make it better by paying $1,000, but there was no, to my knowledge, no contract that was like, you can't sue us if you accept this money. That didn't happen.
So they just reached out for payment details and you gave it to them and they just paid you. Like, you didn't have to sign anything to get that money.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for hopping on and explaining a lot, because I mean, essentially I'm just searching for the truth here, and now we've heard one side of the story, which is from a few people who were involved in the lawsuit and the few people that have contacted Roseanne.
Went out seeing other people, or there were big meetups in like Las Vegas and stuff. Like groups of like 60 to 100 people are getting together and like being friends outside of the games. Like, that's so sick.
That's tough.
Or information on where to go with questions. In a normal production, you would know exactly where to go and staff members to
Okay, so you're kind of just like breaking down the good and the bad, whatever. That's cool. That was a good first video though. But I should say this. All right, man. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out another video like that. You know, just click it. Click it right here. You don't gotta sub or nothing, bro. I'm making it easy. Just click the video. It's on your screen already. Might as well. Go ahead, click it.